Good afternoon. It's Thursday afternoon. It's a little bit after 3 o'clock. As always, here on Sacklow 1055, it's David Stimson here with Transition. Now, today's show is a good one. I know a few of you out there were really interested when we had Craig on the show a few weeks ago talking about a movie that he's in. Well, true to our word, sitting with me in the studio today, we have Clark Tribe and his gorgeous, glamorous other half, Linzi. Hi, guys.
Hiya.
Hello.
Look at that. She's straight on. Can't resist, can she now? Now, it's fair to say, isn't it, Clark, that you are a man with a very interesting past, I suppose, is a good way to put it.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Not always been the good boy, have you?
No.
No. So
Far from.
Far from, yes. Plenty of time spent playing around with London's underworld.
Yes.
And a couple of really nice, high-profile sort of, I suppose, cases that your name may have been attached to, despite the fact that you were cleared. We'll stress that, won't we?
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us something a little bit about that? Could you share a bit?
Yeah. I, since a young age, I thrived off being naughty. Went from stealing penny sweets to king-size Mars bars, mini Metros to Mercedes-Benz, small fights in a school playground.
Yeah.
It led me up to years of unlicensed boxing, bare-knuckle fighting, debt collecting, importation. It was alleged that I was involved with firearms. I've done many years behind the door. I've done 8 sentences.
We've got a lot in common there, haven't we? I've spent a lot of time working the door and you've been behind it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's no secret. I was pulled in on a couple of shootings, conspiracy to murder. My innocence was proven. I think it was about the 6th prison sentence I'd done. I was sitting behind the door. I was looking at about 5-6 years at the time.
Yeah.
And I thought, this isn't a way of life I wish to participate in anymore. Without conforming to structures in place, I can't go forward in life, you know?
That's a biggie, isn't it, when you realise that? I think
yeah.
Even if we don't go as far down the route as ending up inside, I think all of us have this moment in our lives where we go, no, I don't want to conform to the man. I want to, live my own way. And at some point we all go, yeah, we kind of have to do something at least along those lines.
It's not that, I've got children. I realised the amount of victims that were suffering through what I'd done.
That was really interesting. Before we came on here, we were having a chat, and your view on those victims is really interesting. Do you want to go a bit deeper in that? Because I'm really enthralled by that.
Well, yeah, that it has a massive ripple effect. It's not just the person that you're doing something really bad to. It's their family suffer, your own family suffer, your children suffer. The ripple effect is just beyond explainable.
Yeah.
At the time, I've done some serious things. It's no secret. It's out there. I've had my name cleared on a lot of other allegations. At the time, it was big, hard and clever. Mm. But when you get to that point in life and you get to that age, you realise you're just an idiot. You're not big, you're not hard, you're not tough, you're not clever. You're looking up to the wrong people. You're following the wrong patterns in life. Mm-hmm. It's
quite interesting, actually, considering that on the news just beforehand, I couldn't have even written that, could I, that they're on about the suicide rate in prisons is up.
Yeah.
Presumably, for anybody listening that is kind of in that world, if you like, or edging towards that world, or let's say, are at the penny sweet situation.
Yeah.
Can you describe what it's like to be inside, what it's like to serve time?
Wow.
It's not fun, is it?
No, it's not fun. I remember when I was young, I was always hanging around with older people. Mm-hmm. I was looking up to them. I thought it was good. I thought it was clever. I always wanted, as stupid as it sounds, I always actually wanted to go to prison as a kid.
Right.
I wanted to be one of the lads that was spoke about. I wanted a reputation. I wanted to experience it. I wanted to have my own stories,
Yeah.
You have these imaginations of what the inside world would be like. And you can imagine, it's violent, it's horrible, it's tough. Let me tell you, from what you can imagine to actually being in that situation and carrying them feelings deep within inside your gut and your chest, you can't imagine. Until you go there and you feel it, you realise it ain't where you want to be.
Yeah.
it's not the life you want to be living.
It's not somewhere.
No.
It's not a holiday camp,
No,
is it? Although
no.
it has to be said, I had been away to Butlins a few times in the late and mid '80s, and well, you know, I mean, holiday camp, Butlins, they weren't exactly synonymous. They are now, has to be said.
Yeah.
But I remember turning up to my first Butlins and looking up and going, they really have got like a 10-foot high fence with razor wire on top and security guards. And Butlins Bognor Regis, I can tell you.
Yeah, I've seen no redcoats in there.
No.
I ain't seen none.
No, that's true.
No.
I remember spending a night, it's the only night I've ever slept on the streets, thankfully. And that was because we'd gone out in Bognor Regis for a few drinks, and we'd kind of been in Butlins for a week, so we'd done everything in Butlins. We'd like, let's go for a drink down the town. So we did. This would have been 1987, something like that. They locked the gates at 11 o'clock and wouldn't let you back in, so we stayed till last orders. Can't get back in. I think one of us ended up climbing the fence at the back of Butlins and trying to get across. It was an interesting holiday, but nothing, I'm sure, compared to actually doing so. For one thing, you don't pay to go. Well, you do pay to go inside, don't you? It costs as well.
Your whole family pay. Everyone's paying, everyone's suffering for the consequences of your actions, you know. So, yeah, it does. Unfortunately, when you're there, you don't get to go out at night and you don't get locked out of there.
No, you'd be happy if you did.
That would be a result, yeah.
I mean, a friend of mine used to work in electronic security, and one day lent his other half his company car because hers didn't start, and she was working as a nurse in the prisons. Forgot there were ladders on the roof. Total lockdown when she parked this car in the compound up against the wall in her normal parking space. It's like that. Is it true that would you say you were fearful while you were inside? Is there a temptation to need to be the big man and try and protect yourself, or is it a completely different and much more surreal experience?
It's mixed emotions. You know, you've got hurt, you've got anger, you've got aggression, you've got upset. The mixed emotions, your head doesn't know whether it's coming or going. Yeah. As for making a mark for yourself, when you're younger, obviously I've done young offenders as well before I turned adult, and it was a bit like that. You had to make a mark for yourself. After I'd been away 2 or 3 times, I was sort of established in the prison system. Every time you go back, you know the same sort of people. Yeah. And then that's where the comfort comes from.
I suppose so, because they're the people that you've met. No different to, I suppose, in the business world and the film world, which, of course, we'll come to shortly. Yeah. You find yourself tripping over the same faces, don't you? And in business, you go to the networking events, and, I mean, I've been to a few when I've walked out there. Oh, you know, I've paid 40 quid to go to this event, and lunchtime event, and it was amazing, and it's been such a great event, because I caught up with this guy and that guy, and I know it was so nice to see them all. And then at some point you go, in the world of business, that's not that clever, is it? Because I just paid 40 quid to go and meet me mates somewhere that I could have just met up with them in the pub. Obviously, in prison, you see the same faces. You see the lifers. Yeah. You see the ones that have kind of left with you and came back with you, a class of 86 and all that. Yeah. I mean, it has to be said, doesn't it? I've said you've been inside a few times. Yeah. This is a career spanning 15 years. Yeah. Ish. Yeah. And it was a career, wasn't it? It was a way of making a living. One
of the newspapers articles said that I was a career criminal. You know, it wasn't never drunken and disorderly or anything like that. It was always for turning a coin. A lot of it was, you know, I've had GBH Section 18s, GBH Section 20s, ABHs, offensive weapons, firearms, importation, and I've had 70 grand motors, I've had 20 grand jet skis, I've had all the 20 grand super bikes, I've had the luxury holidays, the lavish lifestyle, but what about the third of my life I've been behind the door with nothing? Yeah. You see, you've got to weigh it up. It doesn't pay.
It doesn't take. No. And if you're away for, I don't know, 15 months at a time or maybe 6 or 7 years, like you say.
Yeah, a few years at a time.
It really does not take long for that 20 grand motor to end up, you know, being sold for 10 grand just so that Linzi can keep the wolves from the door, that sort of thing, really. Yeah. It's a weird... I suppose it's the same as in normal life when you say, well, OK, I could wash my windows myself. But someone's going to come around and do them for, I don't know, 10, 15 quid or whatever. Do I value my time and freezing my hands off and getting out there more than that £15? And I suppose the same thing applies because this it's weird, isn't it? It's criminal, it's against all the rules, and yet it has its own structure and its own set of rules. And you do go, okay, every job that you're going to go and do, has a risk to it, and you weigh up the returns of that risk against actually doing the crime.
Yeah. A lot of people used to tell me at the time, but I just couldn't see it. I just thought, it's easy come, easy go. You know, I thought, it's easy life. I can sit on my backside all day indoors.
Yep.
Earning in a day what most people wouldn't earn in a month.
Yep.
And you just get too accustomed to that, you know.
And then you lose it for 6 years at a time.
Yeah.
And that actually saying 6 years, it doesn't take long for money to disappear quick.
But the thing is at the time I used to think, well, I'm a businessman. I'm sourcing materials that people want. I'm used to finding customers. I'm used to employing people. I'm used to working out wages and profits and paying people. And do you see what I mean? So my motto was, well, I'm still a businessman.
Yes, you know? Absolutely. Interchangeable skills there, that are valuable.
Yeah, yeah.
Although maybe the risk of serving that much time is, you know,
yeah.
not nice.
Like I say, I'm done and I'm dusted with that life now. As you know, I've got high-profile contacts, if you like, if that's how you want to call them. I don't get involved no more. You know, I think it's my 6th prison sentence when I made that decision to. You know, I've got to walk away from the heavy stuff.
Yep.
I started working with a keep-out scheme. It's called keep-out. It's a crime diversion scheme.
Okay.
Where, like, every Wednesday you'd have the afternoon where, like, troubled kids and young offenders would be brought into the prison. You'd have to sit there and you'd have to talk to them about the patterns that they follow and how it's not being clever and show them around the prison, scare them a bit. And then when I got out, I started doing voluntary work with a youth offending team. Mm-hmm. I used to run a boxing academy. So I used to actually help troublesome kids, people with mental health issues. You know,
all those people that are going down that route, you were able to stand up in the same way
off of my
as,
own back, voluntary, and yeah.
I'll tell you what, let's play a track that fits in quite nicely with that at the moment. It got great reviews last time. Which one shall I play first? Which one shall I play? I'll tell you what, we'll play Craig's first, and then we'll come back to your track shortly afterwards. Yeah. Okay, so here's
this
a bit
is Craig Hamilton's track.
Craig Hamilton, with Wake Up Call, I believe.
Yep.
Oh, I
want to start afresh. I want to go back. I want to find the light and get out of the black. I've been living my life so loose and slack. I've even started smoking crack. I ain't got as far as to try and smack. But drugs are drugs, they're all f***ing whack. Have a bit of this, go and have a try. They're those famous words that your mates apply to getting you stoned and really high. But in the end, it's you that cries. When it all goes pear-shaped and you end up in debt. And you're in the and you start to sweat. Just remember these words I'm about to say. Hold on to your life, don't throw it away. Wake up, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when it gets hold of you? Wake up now, what you gonna say? When you make collapses and he dies one day. Wake up, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when it gets hold of you? Wake up now, what you gonna say? When you make collapses and he dies one day. They're a waste of time. Drugs have a partner and that partner is crime. Drugs and crime are one of a kind. Stop right now before bars you're behind. It's a vicious circle coming up and coming down. Robbing people's houses, ransacking your town. Lying to your family, cheating on your friends. Getting through the craving never ends. When they end up like this, sit down and figure through who's living your life. Is it drugs or is it you? Wake up, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when it gets hold of you? Wake up now, what you gonna say? When you make collapses and he dies one day. Wake up, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when it gets hold of you? Wake up now, what you gonna say? When you make collapses and he dies one day. Wasted and discarded, that's what your life's been. Are you retarded? Think yourself lucky if you've got your health, cause drugs take away your health and your wealth. I know a man who had everything. Started smoking crack, then he sold his mother's ring, then she left him on a deathbed. He'd never take drugs, they're the words he said. But look at him now, look where he is, he's in the gutter. With all the rats, he's begging, he's lying, he's stealing, he's crying. What does he expect when the drugs he's relying? It's obvious to an idiot fool. His life is going nowhere because he's breaking all the rules. Wake up, grow up, come on mate, you're not school. You're just a no-good, hoping idiot f***ing wasting fool. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when it gets hold of you? Wake up now, what you gonna say? When you make collapses and he dies one day. Wake up, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when it gets hold of you? Wake up now, what you gonna say? When you make collapses and he dies one day.